Choose a woman who chooses you. How many times growing up we live in the fantasy Disney fairy tale. I personally didn't lose my virginity until a later age. It wasn't the norm of 16, 17, 18. And part of the reason for that was because I was deceived into the idea that you must wait for the one, and I was waiting for this fairy tale beginning and you're going to meet the one and it's going to be magical. The problem is it's brainwashing. It's a program that has been installed into all of us since a young age that, women are a certain way and that's how they are portrayed. But in reality, when you start dating and as you get older, you realize that women don't behave like you saw in the movies. And I think the movies play a big part into us falling into this trap. We start choosing women that don't really particularly want us or take an interest into us, and we neglect the woman that actually chooses us. And that is a chapter that I want to speak about. Now, I had a direct DM from one of my subscribers who asked me what of the best books possible to recommend, and a book that I read a very long time ago, easily in my top 3, and one book that I'm currently rereading. I do implore you guys to reread books that you've read before, because you always pick up different things a second time you read, but also it's good to refresh as well. But The Way of the Superior Man by David Deida, not sponsored obviously, but a phenomenal book. And the chapter that I want to pick out today, which is the title of this video, is Choose a Woman Who Chooses You. And I'm just going to read a very brief paragraph, and then we're going to explain, obviously, my interpretation of it. David Deida says that if a man wants a woman who doesn't want him, he cannot win. His neediness will undermine any possible relationship, and his woman will never be able to trust him. A man must determine whether a woman really wants him, but is playing hard to get, or whether she really doesn't want him. If she doesn't want him, he should immediately cease pursuing her and deal with his pain by himself. Now that is very profound, extremely profound, and there's a chapter regarding this that I'm not going to delve into. I would recommend that you guys read it, but it's just a brief section of the beginning of the chapter. Extremely profound. I'm sure you can resonate with that, and I certainly can from previous experience. The amount of women that I've chased when I was younger, when they didn't have a particular interest in me at the time for whatever reason. I was perhaps too young, too mature. I didn't know what I wanted. Wrong timing. But instead of comprehending that idea and focusing on myself, focusing on my mission and purpose, I continuously chased after these women. And not only is it a waste of time and a waste of energy, but it deviates you away from what you need to be doing. And as David Deida puts it perfectly, ascertain exactly if it is that she's playing games with you, whether she's playing hard to get. And here's the thing I want to mention my 2 cents on when women say they're playing hard to get. I don't like that. I like honesty, I like integrity, I like transparency. If a woman is playing games, I think just leave her. It doesn't matter how interested you are into her. For me, it should be a turn off, because we're not here to play games. You should be a man that's on your mission. You shouldn't have much time. You should have a busy schedule. Not busy for the sake of it, but you're genuinely busy with the work that you're doing. So you shouldn't have time for sort of fun and games. You're very petulant and childish. So forget that as well. It's about finding the right woman, but specifically choosing the woman who has a particular interest in you. It's picking the one that has an interest in you. And that is something that I came to the realization, because you'll conserve more energy, but you also won't have the suspicions that she might perhaps be cheating, or the suspicions that perhaps, the relationship is not working out and your mind is constantly elsewhere about what she's doing. And what David Deida delves into a bit more in a chapter is about the masculine core and the feminine energy. A woman, when they're in a relationship, they should be focused more on the feminine side, which is the intimacy and the love and the connection. The man needs to be more on the mission and purpose. You've heard that a lot, but it's imperative. Now, this doesn't mean, on the other side of the coin, it doesn't mean that as a man you should neglect your woman entirely. No, that's not what I'm stating. That's not what David Deida is stating either. What he's saying is that, especially today, in sort of the, be careful what we say here, but sort of the more feminine driven world that we live in, we find that men have a more feminine side than perhaps sometimes women in some relationships. And that is a massive turn off for women, because it's the woman that should be more feminine in these cases, because obviously opposites attract. So when a woman, and David Deida speaks about this, when a woman realizes that the man is more in his feminine in comparison to the female, she gets turned off instantly with regards to the sexuality, to the intimacy, to the overall connection. She may start looking elsewhere, and she may perhaps initiate a breakup as well. The best thing that you can do as a man is to be focused on your mission, to be focused on your purpose, and understand that, especially as a young man under the age of 30, time is on your side. It's about building the assets in play, making sure that your life is in order, making sure that every facet of your life is in order, and that you're striving for success and looking to achieve your goals. And then the right woman will come, because you'll start to be captivating to the opposite sex. And not only will the ideology of choosing a woman who wants you, that's very important, because that's the point that I'm going to get to. Then you will get to a stage where you have so many women that take an interest in you, a particular interest. Then you can choose a woman who wants you, rather than you continuously chasing after women. And I've used this analogy before. Imagine a pussycat, right? If I run after a pussycat right now outside, 9 times out of 10 it's going to run away from me. But if I stay positioned, remain stationary where I'm sat, and I'm perhaps reading a book, or I've got my laptop out, I'm working on something, and I'm completely, I guess, ignoring the cat in this specific scenario, the cat will end up coming to my lap and I'm able to stroke the pussycat. It's a similar thing. I'm not saying women are pussycats. I'm saying that the principle is very similar. As a man, it's important to ascertain your purpose, understand your calling and your mission. And if you're in a relationship, phenomenal, especially if it's a woman that chose you and you have a good connection and the relationship is complementary and it's conducive for your success as well as for hers, then fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I recommend get into a relationship. However, if you're not in a relationship and you're continuously pursuing after women and they don't have a particular interest in you, especially if you haven't solidified your purpose as well, I think you are channeling your energy in the wrong area. And that's just my piece of advice. I think that your energy can be sexually transmuted into much better avenues for your long-term success, especially if you're not getting the results that you want. It's time to do some introspection, look at where you can improve. And it's the same thing here. Choose a woman who wants you, because in the future as well, it will relieve headaches, it will alleviate pressure, because you know she has an interest in you. You haven't got that worry of, does she genuinely like me? Is she authentic? What if she cheats on me? If she loves you more than you love her, that's golden. You have nothing to worry about. And if anything, then you have more energy to put into your calling, to put into your mission. And it's a win-win, because then you're going to be in your masculine frame. You're going to have the core where you can be dedicated to your mission. And on the other hand, she can be in her feminine and focus on the connection and the intimacy, and it complements each other beautifully. So gentlemen, choose a woman who wants you. Your life will be a lot easier. Smash the like button, to consider subscribing if you're new around here. Hit the notification bell. Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Follow the socials, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.